All right, guys, let's connect today, October 29th, 2023, coming at you for our live stream to talk about the Walking Dead Universe, Fear the Walking Dead, Season 8, Episodes 7 and 8. And, all things Walking Dead. So spoiler warning for all that good stuff. I just posted a video this a couple of minutes ago as I do this live stream talking about our red theory striking again. It clearly connects. It's clearly evident. And it clearly is our theory that, like I said, strikes again for a character that dies in the episode. So, all right, guys. Spoiler warning, like I said, I'm one eyebrow, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe. So thank you guys for taking the time to be here. I apologize for not being here last Sunday because my dad was in town. So he flew in for the weekend and we went to brunch and we did some things there too. And I was like, there'll be plenty more weeks to do our live stream. He's in town. Let me just enjoy my time with him. And my wife and I had a good time. And it's just kind of crazy. Like, I don't know if you ever had like guests come to your house and stay with you, if they're brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, dad, mom, whoever. It's always like they don't know your routine and the house and the stuff there. And my dad means well and everything, and we made it through it and stuff happened, but it's just kind of laughable. It's one of those stories, one of those situations that'll be a story for the rest of my life when he was here. And he's getting older now. He's in his mid-70s, so we'll see how many more times he's coming down because he lives in New Jersey. I live in Florida, so he flew down for the weekend, and that was last weekend. So we're here now, but Fear the Walking Dead is underway. Season 8. Episode 7 and 8. Episode 7 was last week. Episode 8 was this week. And we'll talk about a bunch of things for this stream. But if you have any questions, don't talk about episode 808 yet. We'll talk about that in the last half hour, 45 minutes of the stream. So overall, guys, we're watching just some different stuff. Watching a little bit of baseball, watching a little bit of basketball now, watching, Fear the Walking Dead, obviously. But we watched a movie yesterday called Pain Hustlers on Netflix. It stars Chris Evans and I'm blanking on her name, but she is Jim's wife, John Krasinski's wife from The Office. And Matthew Perry died yesterday is what they're saying. So R.I.P. like Rob K. said. R.I.P. Matthew Perry. We were sitting there watching Pain Hustlers and I get an alert or something popped up on my phone, and I saw that Matthew Perry. Emily Blunt. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Yeah, it was good. It was a good movie. And then, reading that Matthew Perry died of a possible drowning or something, which is crazy to think. And, he was only 54 years old. And life happens quickly. It goes away quickly. It's taken from us in an instant. And so, a lot of us know Matthew Perry as Chandler Bing from Friends and, a couple other movies and shows and this and that. And, it's a shame. My wife and I love to, my wife's favorite show is Friends, and she loves to watch, we watch the Thanksgiving episodes around Thanksgiving and on Thanksgiving. And it's going to be, sad, but yeah, so he was gone, and we were watching Pain Hustlers, which is, I guess, somewhat of a true story. I don't know, but some of the stuff, like it opens with, I don't know if it's Emily driving over the Skyway Bridge that's in here, Tampa. It's from going into St. Pete, basically. And I'm like, yeah, it's definitely the Skyway. They show you parts of Tampa. They show you parts of, Georgia. I think they filmed it in Georgia and Florida. So it says Lakeland, but you know how it is. It could be filmed somewhere else and says another spot. But it was kind of cool to see that, and I recommend that movie on Netflix. And then last weekend we watched the movie called Old Dads. It's Bill Burr's movie. He actually wrote it and stars in it and produces it. He does a bunch of different things with it, and it's an okay movie. I don't know. It's one of those movies like I remember when the movie Knocked Up came out. I was in grad school and everyone's like, "Have you seen Knocked Up? Have you seen Knocked Up? It's so great. It's so funny. Have you seen Knocked Up?" And the hype was like so big. So then I watched it and I was like, this movie kind of sucks. Like what is this Knocked Up movie? Why are people saying it's so great? But Pain Hustlers decent movie. If you like Chris Evans, if you like Emily Blunt, it's talking about, kind of the opioid epidemic that happened. It's not the same as Painkiller that stars Matthew Broderick, and it's similar stuff that people were abusing this and trying to do that, and it's a mess. Opioids are a mess, and it was just the thing because you get addicted to them, and that's kind of what was happening here with a different drug than Oxycontin that takes place in Painkillers. But Pain Hustlers, Painkillers, or Painkiller, and it's definitely something that 2 movies that I recommend because it's definitely something that's entertaining, educational, and it's draws you in for sure. We want to watch the movie Reptile next. My wife is a huge Justin Timberlake fan, so we got to watch that. But I know it has Benicio del Toro and a couple other people, and I haven't seen it yet. But we was like, let's watch this first, and then we'll watch that. And if you guys are watching anything, you recommend anything, let me know in the comments for sure. But stream start? ? Yeah, it started 6 minutes ago. So, but ultimately, Fear the Walking Dead is back for the final 6 episodes, and it's definitely not good. Like, it's laughable what they decide to do. I guess the writers don't care about continuity, connections, making sense, or whatever. Everything just is so forced. It's just so forced, and that is what happened since these people took over, for sure. Jonathan Wilder says, if you don't mind me asking who was at the door last time it was live, was it Jehovah's Witnesses? No, it was a neighbor of mine that was talking about a barbecue that they were doing this weekend on Saturday, and she was trying to give out this flyer for it to know if we were going to come or not, the RSVP, by a certain date. And so it was just one of my annoying neighbors that deal with the HOA, and we have these 2 ladies that come, they'll knock on the door, be like, ding, 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 and just keep banging on the door. And it's just kind of aggressive. And you're like, it's not that serious for stuff. It's just kind of ridiculous, But, it was nothing there, too. And we didn't even go to the barbecue. So, we don't even mess with that, too. So, yeah, so we're doing that. We're going strong. My dad is a big Phillies fan. I do not like the Philadelphia Phillies. So I'll root for the Phillies like last year when they played the Astros because my dad was liking them. And it was kind of cool that they went to the World Series. And I did not want to see the Phillies versus the Astros this year. And I'm glad that it's the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. And Evan Longoria used to play for the Rays here, and he's on the Diamondbacks. And I have a funny story about Evan Longoria's wife and PT school and stuff. And so it's something that's there. Nick says, not working either, but I see your live chat. So, yeah, if you got to come back in and exit the stream and then come back, I don't know, but they got the stream going here, and it's going pretty good, and we're connected with full bandwidth and everything there. So if you got to come back in there, I don't know. So, yeah, it's something, maybe your connection, maybe YouTube, if it says it's keep buffering, but hopefully you can get it figured out. So ultimately, guys, Fear the Walking Dead, like I said before, is back. This is the last series for this year, and then we have The Ones Who Live, which will be in February. So we're guessing that it's going to probably be February 18th or 25th. We're guessing. There's no date just yet. So when we get more information, hopefully we'll get like a real trailer in November, December, probably like December, with the date and everything where that's going there. Because, again, that's only 6 episodes. So I'm liking the 6-episode thing. Again, the first season of The Walking Dead is 6 episodes. And it worked. Right? And then it jumped to 13, and then it jumped to 16, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think that the Daryl show is the best spinoff so far, followed by Dead City, and then I don't know how to rank it after that. Is it Fear the Walking Dead? Is it World Beyond? Is it Tales of the Walking Dead? I don't know. It's just like it's a huge drop-off after Dead City. I'm hoping that The Ones Who Live, if not is the best, if not one of the best, I'm hoping that it makes sense too. So, yeah. So, Nick, that doesn't make sense, but, we'll talk about that in the last half hour and 45 minutes. So just give me another 6 minutes before we can talk about the latest episode too. Jonathan Wilder, are you enjoying the new Spider-Man game? I'm watching the Rad Brad play it on YouTube. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't played it. I haven't done anything. I'm probably going to wait on it. I've enjoyed the Spider-Man games. They are just what I like in a game. I like open world. I like the freedom to go do what you want around a city. Like, I've always thought about having a game that's a zombie apocalypse game that's like Grand Theft Auto, but a zombie apocalypse game. If you know the infamous game, if you know Grand Theft Auto, if you know Spider-Man stuff, it's open world. And I've always loved the idea to have that having be a thing where the zombie apocalypse is taking place. So it would be pretty cool. I would like to have that developed or eventually play it because, Resident Evil is a great game, but it's so like linear. Like, you can only do so much. A lot of games that came out are open world, but they're like, I don't know. There's just different things that you can add with the city element too as well, and then you can expand upon it, maybe go into other areas of there. And I thought Tampa would be a great feel for it as well because it's got the city, it's got the beaches, it's got the water, it's got a lot of stuff you can do around there too. You can take a boat or a car or a bus or a thing or that or whatever and get around. It's just kind of cool. So, but ultimately, Fear the Walking Dead is the show that we're talking about here for this stream. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I've asked the question on one of my posts. Fear the Walking Dead is blank. Like, fill in the blank. Fear the Walking Dead is, and I've seen a lot of people say a lot of different things. People are like, it's amazing, is trash, is garbage, is nonsense, is terrible, is, awesome, is like, people support it, people don't. And stuff doesn't make sense in this universe of the Fear the Walking Dead because it's just so all over the place. Like, it's just so, yeah, is still on the air? Question mark. Yes, people, I like that one too. Well, we only have 4 more episodes left. 9, 10, 11, and 12. And it's one of those things where I'm like, just wrap it up, finish it. I want to see where it's going, how it ends. Now, I don't like the Madison character. I never have. And I bet when they came up with the idea for Fear the Walking Dead, they were like, this Walking Dead is great. It's getting millions and millions of views. We got merchandise. We got millions of dollars coming in. This is great. We need another one of these. You got another one, Kirkman? And he's like, yeah. And then the showrunner, was like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to have no affiliation with the show that was groundbreaking and amazing. So, what we're going to do? We're going to have a woman protagonist with a dysfunctional family. And the woman, she's going to be very unlikable, right? She's going to have no emotions. She's going to have kids that it's just not a good situation. She's dating this guy with another family, too, that's not really good. And, yeah, if that's really Ian Goldberg, that's pretty awesome. But the person says, you're just jealous of me and Andrew's great writing. We save Fear season 4 through 8. Well, I'm not jealous of you or really anybody ever because that's a terrible trait to have. If I would say I'm envious of, it's for you to have that ability to write a show on AMC for that long. Seasons 4 through 8. Season 6 was good, and then I heard they were ghostwriters, so I don't know about that, and then it's such an outlier season as well, so I don't know about it being great, but I wouldn't say a lot of people think it's great. I mean, I do think it's an awesome thing that you've had this series for, many seasons now. But yeah, that's cool. So if that's really Ian Goldberg, awesome. Glad to have you in the chat, but I doubt it is. So, but, ultimately, Fear the Walking Dead to me is wasted potential. You could have done anything you wanted with it. And I don't even mind a female protagonist. But they've really ramped up to 11 the female characters. Like, there's so many female characters in there that aren't really great. Like, Madison could be so much better. Is it the actress? Is it the writing? Is it the portrayal? Is it the... I don't know, whatever. Alicia's okay. I like June. Ginny was... all the villains have been terrible so far. Like, June's okay. Althea's okay. Who else we got? Luciana has been just all over the place. Like, she makes no sense. Like, they love to hone in on her on season 2, and she was kind of a badass character. She was kind of cool. And then she just went away in season 3 to come back in season 4. And it's kind of like, what? That's kind of like crazy. And I'm like, well, okay, she's all about connected with Nick. Okay, and then Madison's all about protecting your kids, which she never really did. And yeah, it's just been. And then you're forcing Morgan over, and then you bring June and John in, which really helped the show. And then Ginny was a character that was annoying. It's just like, I don't know. Martha was terrible. Martha's probably the worst villain in the history of the Walking Dead universe, for sure. But like Alpha was good. So like, I don't know. It was a good character. Like, stuff makes sense here and there and then it doesn't. But I don't know. Jonathan Wilder Q&A: for someone who gave Fear a try and ended up not liking, how would you sell me into giving it a try again? Well, John, to be honest, I wouldn't. Because I wouldn't want you to waste your time on a show that is all over the place, that doesn't connect enough to be rewarding. There's some build. The seasons just feel so discombobulated. The first part, the second part of a season, it's like different shows. Especially like this season. Season 8, episodes 1 through 6 were like the Morgan show. Now he's gone, and then we're like, oh, let's do the original OGs. The Strand character is just terrible. Like they're afraid to kill characters off. And they just have a billion characters. Like, Fear the Walking Dead could have done whatever they wanted, and it just sucks because they could have done so much. And yeah, Rob just says Pope and the Reapers were lame. And they were. The build-up was huge. They have this special ops forces team that can do this and do that, and their weapons, and they're badasses, and they're fighting in the woods, and they're doing that. And then Pope, it was just so weak. It was just so dumb. It was another weak thing that they did. Ultimately, you're not going to kill off major characters. You're not going to do major things. And then when you did, like, you killed off Nick because Nick wanted to leave the show. The actor wanted to leave the show. So I get it. But it's just one of those things where you're like, okay. And then the writers chose to kill Madison off. But then they didn't have the balls or the wherewithal or the idea or the hindsight or whatever, the foresight to be like, Madison is going to be our staple. It's just crazy because they killed her off, had in memoriam, did all that stuff, and then like, well, we never saw the body, and we never saw this. And some people are like, Carl could still be alive because we never saw a body. You're like, yeah, right. And then they did the same thing. So, all right, guys, let's talk about episode 8 a little bit here, 808. So, spoiler warning, because the big thing is I posted a video before I did the live stream talking about our red theory. So our red theory is connected with death of a character that's wearing red or surrounded by red or red objects or red clothing or red signs or whatever for that person or a loved one very close to them, right? So the big thing was that we saw that Charlie came back, and for some reason she didn't die. They brought her in for this episode just to kill her off. If that's not a slap in the face to the Charlie character for the actress, I don't know what is. But they gave her another episode, which is what it is. And so she was brought back to basically sacrifice herself. So Troy is back. We know that, and we've known that for months. And Troy came back to be the final villain of the show. Troy got hit in the head by a hammer, not once but twice. The dam exploded, and evidently he was saved by a woman that we haven't seen yet. But Madison or somebody killed her, I guess. I don't know. But somehow ultimately Troy was survived the dam because we never saw him die. We never saw this. We never saw this. We never saw a body. Never say never. Blah, 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 blah. All their little cheesy things that they can say. So, JOK, hey from the UK. I'm not watching Fear. It's just not good anymore. Enjoying the live. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Fear the Walking Dead is just lame for a lot of people. It just doesn't make sense. And it's just, I'm watching it to finish it, to wrap it up. It's like, it's that thing where you just have to end it so we can move on with our lives, right? Like if the goal is to have these characters survive and then join the fight against the CRM in some big series for the big final conclusion of the universe, okay. But Madison doesn't make sense because she has oxygen bottles like it's easy to find. She has COPD or emphysema or whatever they're trying to say. And the fact that she can swing a 20-pound sledgehammer around like she's Thor is laughable. And the fact that she can control it and not get winded and not do this and not do that. But either way, she's back. We got to accept it. We got to do that. So 807, the episode last week, started off with like people playing soccer or football, depending where you're from, and they're speaking German. And then we see Strand, who is Anton, and his family, who has a son, and this and that and whatever. And then Madison ends up there somehow. Like, I've never seen people come together so easily in the world in the Walking Dead universe. Like, Madison found Strand in the middle of Georgia like it was easy to find. You probably couldn't even find the same person in the same state in real life normally, let alone in a zombie apocalypse. Like, it would be ridiculously hard to do that. But they find each other like that too. And then Madison passes out, then we do this, and then that, and then Anton, and then it's Strand, and then he's lying to them, and then it's all this big thing. And they're thriving in this hotel, and they're doing great and all this stuff. And Strand has a 15th chance to stay alive and to do this, and he's doing this and doing that, and he's working well here. And now everybody sees Madison, like, I thought you were dead. They hug. Luciana sees Madison, and they hug. I thought you were dead. I hear that a lot. Daniel, I thought you were dead. Oh, I get that a lot. Like, oh, great. We all know she's alive. And the reunions aren't like good. They're like forced. Like the reunions with Daryl and Carol, or when Carol saves the day, is awesome. It's amazing. It makes sense. The reunions with Rick and Daryl make sense. It's there. It's theirs. This is like, what? Huh? It's not like good. But they have the music and they're trying to make you feel things. And I get it, but you tried to kill off Madison. These showrunners killed off Madison. And then you bring her back and you force her back. And she's a collector and she's doing this with kids. And she has COPD and she's doing all this. And it's just like, what are you doing? It's just laughable. But either way, it is what it is. So Walker's and this and Anton's story and that and Strand and blah, 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 blah. But either way, it's Strand and Madison get trapped in this spot. They get captured by Troy's people. Troy comes back and it's a big reveal and we see this and we see that. And then they have the bag and it's, Alicia's bone hand thing. And he says that she killed. Troy says that he killed Alicia, but we can't believe that. He's not really owning up to it a little bit. The showrunners say it's more complicated. They're going to explore that the rest of the season, and Madison's going to be looking for Alicia, and it's going to be this, and it's going to be that, and it's going to be a bunch of things that's just dumb and a waste of time and nonsense. So, yeah. But Troy is back, and then Daniel, Sherry, June, and Daniel's people show up and save the day, right? So you have Daniel's people. They take Strand. They take Klaus and all the people that were with Strand or Anton, whatever you want to call it, and Madison, and they take them. They save them. They're on this side, and then you got Troy and his 6-7 gunmen there too, right? So they're there. They're in Georgia right now. Nick is where they're supposed to be, and so they're basically face to face, and Daniel is walking out and I'm going to kill you, Troy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then Madison opens the bag and she's like, what is this? And they're saying it was Alicia's, blah, blah, blah. And she's going to pick up the hammer and going to smack Troy again. But Victor stops her and blah, blah, blah. And then Troy's like, I wouldn't do that. And then boop, that's the end of the episode. So they come face to face. No one gets killed. No one gets shot. No one gets injured. No one gets maimed. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. And then in 808, it starts with them going to a place to get gasoline because all of a sudden gasoline is the biggest problem ever, and they can't worry about Troy yet. They have to go get gas, and then Troy's going to regroup and going to get his people and going to do that. So yeah, Daniel's like, we need gas though. So they just let Troy get away because they can't kill Troy off now because it's like Negan. You can't kill Negan off, so you fire all around him with the stupid windows. It's like the same thing. It's like the writers, okay, if we kill Troy off now, what do we do for the next 6 episodes? 5 episodes, 4 episodes, whatever. And you're just like, what? You could do it in a different way. Like, obviously, you can't kill off the villain yet. You have to wait to the end of the series and the season, obviously, because it's like, what? So they go there and they go into a thing, and then all these walkers come. Again, billions of walkers still on the planet, but they decide, now let's go into this store and continue this conversation. Instead of getting on their raft and just driving away or killing the walkers, that would be too smart. They come to the thing and they go into the store and they check the thing and they see a box. It's like, take what you need, leave what you don't, like a thing from the past. So they're trying to force these connections from the past and all this stuff and the Martha boxes. And so they're trying to connect it. And I get it. With the show, you got to come full circle from the first season to the last season, and everything gets a return and everything comes back around again and all that stuff. But so they're going there, and Madison is looking for Alicia. Or Walker Alicia, right? So she's banging on the glass door, and then the Walker comes through the glass door, which would be incredibly hard to do. But either way, they come in, and then Madison needs to be saved by Strand because Strand kills the Walker with this and that, and they kill all the Walkers. And Daniel's like, "That's not us. We didn't do that." So they're hiding down. The person comes in. It's Luciana. Luciana looks at Madison's like, "Madison, I thought you were dead." I get that a lot. And the way she says Madison is hilarious. She's like, Madison. Like, the Luciana actress is terrible, in my opinion. Like, she can't speak right. It doesn't work. It's this and that. The character's kind of annoying. Now she knows how to do everything about gasoline. She knows the refinery business. She knows how to do everything about it. Like, because of Ginny's thing. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. But ultimately, that's what she's doing. She's all about having gas, having oil, having this, and doing that. So they were going to work on this, and then so evidently Charlie, who is alive, who was like 11 earlier or 2, and then years went by, and so I don't know how old she actually is in there too, but she's driving the tanker truck around and making deliveries and making things and doing this. So she's known as Iron Tiger, which is a pretty cool name, by the way. That's the name of the episode. But Luciana's like, stay back, don't come out, don't do this. So Madison is like Carl, doesn't listen, leaves, and walks over there. It's like, what's going on? Luciana's like, I told you to stay back. No, what's going on here? Blah, blah, blah. So the person steps out of the truck with the back to the camera, very dramatic. He's like, is it Alicia? No, it's Charlie. So Charlie turns around, and then it comes out that Charlie killed Nick, and Madison finds out about that. And then she's like, makes these weird noises and tries to go after Charlie and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Great. So it comes up to the point is that Charlie wants to make up for killing Nick, and she apologizes, and Madison kills all these walkers with her, sledgehammer, and she has to get her oxygen. She gets her hit of oxygen like Darth Vader style. And then she kills the walkers, and Strand is there for her and all this stuff. And, it's like trying to be good and trying to be this. And then, Charlie says that she feels sorry for what happened. She was 11 years old, and Ennis lied to her, and they did this and they did that, and blah, 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 blah. We still don't even know how Madison survived the stadium. That still has to be explained. And it's got to be explained very well that we can buy into it, but I doubt it will. But ultimately, Charlie is going to try to make amends for killing, for killing Nick. So Madison says, look, I'm going to use you to get to Troy, and you need to kill Troy. That's going to make up for it. And she's like, okay, I'll do it. And, she leaves the room, and, Charlie agrees to go after Troy. Daniel doesn't want her to do it. Luciana doesn't want her to do it. But if you watch my Red Theory video, it's basically foreshadowed that Charlie dies, and she dies later in the episode. Our Red Theory strikes again. So ultimately, Charlie gets back into her oil tanker truck. I don't know about Alicia. Like, if she's dead, I could see her being dead Colt 45 Zigzag says, do you think Alicia is dead? I don't know. Do you guys think Alicia is dead? Because the way this will go is they'll be looking for her, and Alicia will be dead at the end. But I know the actress didn't want to come back for the show by any means, but could she show up? Is she going to be really bad CGI? Was she going to show up at the end? Because I would like for her to show up, but I don't know if she will. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, how was Morgan's story in Fear? Should I skip the intro of Fear and start? Yeah, I wouldn't watch it at all, John. But if you're anything, then you should watch when Morgan shows up in season 4. I would just start at season 4 then. To be honest, that's how I would start too. So, and just find out a little bit of information that Troy and the Autos had a ranch, that Madison had a problem with Troy and stuff, and that happened in season 3. So you could start at season 3. You don't need to start from the beginning by any means of the show. But again, I wouldn't recommend to watch it, but that's just me. If you want something to watch, there's plenty of other things to watch for sure. So Charlie gets in her oil tanker truck thing and drives away. She's stopped by Troy's people, but Madison feels bad about it, and so they turn on the radio and they talk to her, and she's Iron Tiger, and Luciana is Polar Bear. So it's kind of a callback again to earlier seasons with stuff. And so ultimately we see some maps on the back wall. I know there's a map of New Jersey for some reason. There's different things on there too, but I don't know what to get out of that. But Madison says, like, hey, Charlie, come back. You don't need to do it. Just come back. It doesn't make sense. And she's like, I can't come back. Yes, you can. You can come back. Why can't you come back? Because she's captured. And so instead of turning off the radio when Troy opens up the cab, the door, you could have, but Madison's on there like, oh, I don't trust you because you're talking to Madison Clark. And then, boom, she knocks out, Troy knocks out Charlie, takes her prisoner, takes off her shoes, puts glass all around her. So if she tries to walk and get out and run, she'll cut her feet up and she won't get far, but she's tied to a chair and this and that. And so somehow Troy knows that Charlie killed Nick and all this stuff. Troy just knows everything all of a sudden. I don't know. Is he listening in? Does it is? But again, it doesn't matter. So Troy is trying to get information out of Charlie, who's his prisoner now, and then Madison and her group are trying to get to the spot to go after Charlie to save her. The tanker that Charlie was driving explodes outside of the hotel that I'm guessing that was the German People's Group's hotel that Troy took over, that people left to go to Padre then, so they didn't just took over the area. But that was a good area. Like if the German group that Strand was with just left and they went to Padre, why wouldn't Troy's people just take over the hotel? Because it looked like a very secure, great place that had food and crops and areas to grow and be safe inside a hotel. Like, it looks like a great spot. But all of a sudden, Troy says it's not good. He took it over in a day and he needs something better, and they want Padre, and they can't find Padre. Like Padre is in the Bermuda Triangle in some place you can't find. Like, it's some island. It's some area. Like, get on a boat and drive around. Like, it's not some hidden utopia oasis that you need to decode with something. Like, it just makes no sense. But that's what they're looking for. Padre, 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 yet again. So, either way, that's what Troy wants, is to get to Padre. So he says, look, I will trade you Charlie for Padre. If I can get to Padre, you can have Charlie back. And Madison's thinking about doing it, thinking about this, thinking about that. And then ultimately, they meet outside of the hotel. So Madison, Luciana, Strand, Daniel's people, Troy's people are on a standoff again. They're like this close to each other. No one gets hurt. No one gets injured. No one gets shot. No one gets anything, which is ridiculous. That's 2 times in 2 episodes now, which is ridiculous. So Charlie's like, don't say anything. Don't give up anything. Don't do this. And Madison's like, look, I'm going to give you the map so I can save you, Charlie, which would be kind of ridiculous, by the way, to give up Padre, the location, the spot, the oasis, this great place for Charlie. but that's the writing. And then so they're back and forth, blah, blah, no. You take this. How do I know? No, you're not going to do this. No. How do I now do this? You'll take our person there, and once it checks out, you'll get Charlie. Charlie comes up with the idea. She kills one of the guards, Troy's people, with a piece of broken glass, and it stabs it, kills the guy. Picks up the gun, points the gun at the other person, and she decides, look, if I'm not here, you don't have to worry about giving the map to Troy to get to, Padre. So she ends up killing herself. Which is sad. I don't really like Charlie. She's okay and everything like that, too. She's not one of my favorite characters, but she sacrifices herself, and she does it in a way for that. So then Madison's like, yep, you're not getting this map, and puts it back in her shirt or jacket or whatever. And Madison's like, Troy's like, I can't let you do that. I can't let you leave without it. So then stuff kind of breaks down a little bit, and then Troy's person is like, I don't even remember the girl's name, but is it Allison or something? I don't even remember. I forget the person's name, but it's Troy's daughter, evidently. And she got away. And then this other kid's like, she wanted to go see a truck because she never saw a truck before or something. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is Carl 2.0 again. So it's clearly the kid from the trailer that Madison finds, and they do this, and she says that Alicia was in the group and stuff. So I don't know. It's just like nonsense again. But either way, Troy just walks right through Madison's group, and before that too, Daniel's like, I'm gonna kill you, Troy. I'm gonna choke you. I'm gonna strangle. I'm gonna take you're gonna take my other eye. No, you're gonna wish I took your other eye, and you're doing this. And Daniel does nothing. Not a thing. You're like, what are you talking about, dude? So either way, Troy goes through and kills Walker after Walker after Walker, looking for his daughter. Doesn't find her. And Madison's like, what are you doing, Troy? Who are you looking for? Who's this person? What are you doing? Who did I take from you? What happened here? Blah, blah, blah. And they're just having this conversation. And then Troy is like, a walker's on top of Troy. Madison kills the walker. And you're like, what are you doing, man? Like, just let Troy die already. Like, this is just so dumb. But either way, they have their back and forth, and they're talking, and they're nonsense yet again. And then Madison's like, you're chopping off the arms, so you think that I'm going to look for Alicia over and over and over again. Keep looking for her. So then she swings her sledgehammer. He blocks it with the machete. They fall down to the ground. They do this. And what I kept seeing is like, Troy, just cut her fingers. Like, she has the fingers on the sledgehammer pushing down, and Troy has the machete, like, here. Just cut her fingers. She's going to let go of the thing. You can get up. But doesn't happen. Strand comes over. Is like, we got to go, Madison. We got to go. And then just takes Madison away, and they separate yet again. They have Troy dead to rights multiple times. But, no, they just go away. So night turns to day. Now it's Madison, Daniel, Luciana, and Strand. Strand wants to take the gas to Padre. Luciana gives the keys to Madison. Daniel says, look, I'm not going with you, Madison. I can't go with you. And Madison's like, we need you. Even though he's doing nothing, but they need him. And he's like, I'm going to stay with Luciana to protect her. And they have this whole conversation. So it's Luciana and Daniel leave, and they go their way. And Strand and Madison are there talking. And Madison's like, look, I can't be with you. I can't do this. I'm not going back to Padre. I have to go do this. Oh, also before that, the kind of big thing I missed is Charlie leaves a note for Madison and the coffee tin. And so we don't see the note, but it's kind of summarized that Charlie went back, because Luciana says this, that Charlie, they were in Texas. She wanted to see where they buried Nick, and they cremated Nick. So in the coffee tin is Nick. And so I keep wanting to say Troy. Madison tells Charlie, come back. Somebody that would do this for Nick deserves to be there when we spread his ashes. And that's when Charlie's like, I can't. That's when she gets captured by Troy and stuff like that too. So the coffee tin is actually Nick's ashes. Doesn't really make sense, but hey, this is Fear the Walking Dead we're talking about here too. So at the end, Strand takes the oil truck and is going to drive to Padre, I guess, and Madison just walks away down the path. with her coffee tin and her sledgehammer and I guess her oxygen and everything there too. But next week's episode actually looks like one of the best. And you want to know why? Because it has nothing to do with the nonsense. It looks like it has everything to do with Dwight and Sherry and the sanctuary. So that the best episode so far this season was the one with Morgan going back to King County, in my opinion. But that's what made the most sense and was the best episode for a long time of this series and season was that one. So I'm hoping that the Dwight Sherry Sanctuary connection here is going to be pretty good next week, which has nothing to do with the Troy Madison nonsense Padre garbage. So, yeah, Mike, so I guess they dug him. We don't see this. They dug up Nick and cremated him. So we don't see the ashes. It's just in the coffee tin that you see there too. So that's what we're guessing happened too. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, any Fear characters on the show? No, none of those characters in the comics. It's just for the show. It's a standalone thing for it. But, so we get to see Dwight, Sherry. I'm guessing June's going to be there. I'm guessing Dwight's going to get in trouble or in danger of stuff. And so he's going to need help from June. I think they're going to go back to his house, their house that was in The Walking Dead. So, yeah, Morgan was in the comics, but... that's Fear. He's a Walking Dead character that came over the Fear of the Walking Dead. But, yeah. So, I guess technically you're right. Morgan was in the comics. And Dwayne, too, right? So, that's I guess we're going that way as well. So, yeah, that's the episode so far that we've seen. But it's just nonsense that they're like, hey, Troy, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do this. No. What are you doing? Oh, there's a walker there? Let him die, right? No, let me save you so we can talk to further prolong this nonsense and this craziness on there too. Like it's just total nonsense and just total stupidity of the writing that's just so unbelievable too. So yeah, right. Yeah, Ian Goldberg. This dude's definitely not Ian Goldberg, unless he is, all right? Next episode, we will find out Madison is pregnant. By who? Great. Alicia is married to Troy. That makes no sense. Chris returns to seek revenge on Madison. That's dumb. Daniel goes back to Mexico to do Ophelia and cremate her, and Celia will be back. Dumb and dummity-dum-dum-dum. That seems all stupid stuff. But ultimately, it's like, what are we watching? This is just total nonsense garbage. Like, do these writers think it's good? Do they think that we're dumb? Do you think it makes sense? Like, it's just so stupid. And then it's so funny because, like, you see the new... And, like, it's... This season is, like, bad season 7 of The Walking Dead. Bad season 8 of The Walking Dead. Like, terrible stuff. Right? Because they keep bringing up... Like, oh, Alicia and Nick would want you to do this. They would want you to build this community. They would want you to have that. It's basically like Carl, who was killed for no reason, but he's like, he wouldn't want you to do that. He would want you to work with Negan. He would want you to do that. He would want you to have this world like that. He would want you to do that. Carl wants you to. It's like, Carl, what? That's why the character was killed off? Like, come on. Man. Jonathan Wilder, are you watching Crown Jewel this Saturday? I know I am. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I might check out a little bit. I don't even know who's wrestling. I don't know what the big thing is. But I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? I may check it out for a couple minutes if there's a big match or something there too. So, yeah, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of questions that we'll never find out about. But they're basically trying to, like, fill in the gaps and the blocks for stuff to happen. Like, okay, so Madison was reunited with Nick because it was cremated, right? And now, when, how will Alicia and Madison be, connected again, reunited? So we're guessing that Alicia is going to be a walker, is how they're building it up. But will she be alive? I don't know. Will it make sense? I don't know. I doubt it's going to make sense. And again, keep my expectations low with this show and this series and everything that way. But again, it's just these things are just so dumb. And it's even dumber every episode how it comes to the fact that Troy is the villain. And Daniel has said repeatedly, it's like Rick I'm going to kill you, Negan. Not today, not tomorrow. I'm going to kill you. And then he has the chance, and then he doesn't do it. It's the same exact thing. All the stupid writing of The Walking Dead is magnified here to 11 times 1,000% on Fear the Walking Dead. It's like, let's take all the stupid stuff of the Walking Dead universe and we're going to put it into a show. That's what Fear the Walking Dead feels to me. It's just nuts. So, Michael Singer says, Cowboys 26, Rams 0 first. Is that legit? Is that real? Man, if it is, awesome. But Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, who do you think was on the boat Daryl was trying to get on, new or old characters? It would probably be nothing. He's not going anywhere. So when Daryl left or was going to leave, he was going to get on a boat. But it ain't nobody that's picking him up. So it's not one of those things where we're not going to see those characters there too. I mean, 26-3. My bad. It's all right. It's good. We'll take it. That's good. That's good. But I don't know, the big thing we know is that they're filming the second season still now. Like the latest thing of the Daryl Dixon show that I've heard and seen pictures of is that they are at an abandoned horse place. So I know that that's going to show up now, and I don't know what episode they're on because they were filming the second season, and then the strikes happened, and they lost, weeks, if not months, for filming. Which sucks because you can't just get that back, And now we know that Daryl's there. We know that Carol's going to show up. We don't know if anybody else is going to show up. We're wondering if Dog's going to be there. But it's just one of those things where I'm excited to see what happens because that was the best. That was one of the best, shows in the Walking Dead universe for sure. Jen says, hi from Australia, everyone. Love this channel. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for being here. Nick, do you think the Walking Dead universe should just wrap up and end? I love the Walking Dead, but I'm just not invested anymore into all these spinoffs, just milking it bad. So before the Daryl show, before Dead City and before the Daryl show, I would definitely have said yes. But I'm hoping that Dead City, the Daryl show, The Ones Who Live are just like enough to wrap things up. So I've said this before, and people have asked me how I would end it. How do I see the ending? What is the best ending that I would see? It would be that all the shows of all the people, of all the survivors would come together to fight the CRM. Major General Beale, the CRM, Jadis, whoever else from there, against them, right? So we would have Rick, Michonne, Daryl, Carol, Negan, Maggie, Commonwealth, the Alexandria, Oceanside, just everything there. Hilltop, the Bricks, people from Dead City, the New Babylon Marshals, or maybe New Babylon Marshals join CRM. I don't know, something like that too. The people against Daryl. It just makes sense for everybody coming together in a final end game battle type moment. And I just don't know. I don't know if they know how to end it. I don't know what they can do for a true, satisfying, great ending. Because right now, The Walking Dead main show has ended now. It's been gone. It's, for some time now. Then we had... When Fear the Walking Dead's over, it feels like the nonsense is done. Because Fear the Walking Dead is nonsense, in my opinion. And it's been that way for a long time. But, so the Walking Dead characters are still around. There's plenty of characters still alive. And so when we see Carol at the end of the Daryl Dixon Show, Season 1, Episode 6, my biggest question is why is she alone? Why is she by herself? Well, it's because they don't want to bring other people in the show, but it makes no sense for Carol to not have at least one other person with her. And maybe she did. And maybe she just lost them and they got killed or whatever. But ultimately, it's dangerous to go out alone. She has connections with the Commonwealth. She has resources. She has stuff. And it's pretty cool that she was driving a beat-up Mustang, but it was pretty cool to see that. And ultimately, Carol, Daryl, they were supposed to have a show together. Will we see, Aaron? Will we see Father Gabriel, Jerry, Ezekiel, Mercer, anybody at Connie, Magna, whoever, any characters ever again? The people that survived. I hope so. I mean, I would love to see stuff there too. I mean, by the time this is going on and on and on and on, Kaylee Fleming is going to be, 25 years old, and she'll be a grown woman by then, not some little kid. So they gotta have to hurry up with some stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not expecting the ending of the Walking Dead universe to be great. I'm not expecting Fear the Walking Dead to end in a satisfying way, because it just hasn't been satisfying at any point up to this time. I mean, they've had their moments, they've had seasons, but it's just like, So we'll see how it decides to go, and I figure Madison's going to live, and Strand's going to live, and a majority of the characters are going to live, right? Like, a character like Charlie who dies in the episode makes sense. A character like Rosita dying makes sense. Luke, Jules, makes sense. And I thought there would be more deaths there too, but it's just not going that way. John, what's more enjoyable, a wrestling match or a football game? I didn't watch sports, so my answer is wrestling. It depends on the wrestling match and depends on the football game. If I'm watching some crappy football game or I'm watching a great wrestling match, it depends. It depends on who you're actually watching. Yeah, John says, did you know the Nun Girl was a major Harry Potter character? I didn't know that until people said it. I don't watch Harry Potter. I'm not a Harry Potter fan myself, but I know that she was in there and people liked her, and I can see why. So Clemence Posey is her name, and she was a good actress. I thought she was a great addition to the Walking Dead universe. I thought Laurent was okay. Daryl did a great job. Gaudron was okay. The characters that they brought in for the Daryl Dixon show were pretty good. The characters that they brought in for Dead City were pretty good. I don't know how the Dama is going to fit in. I don't know how stuff's going to fit in there going forward. I would assume that the characters that they'll bring in for the ones who live will be good as well, too. Hopefully we'll see the characters that were connected with Michonne's last episode of The Walking Dead. Hopefully stuff happens there. CRM, Major General Beale. We're going to see a lot of big stuff happening next year, too. So I'm excited to see what is the future of the Walking Dead universe. So I'm not ready to write it off yet. I need to see Rick and Michonne. Like, they're two of my favorite characters, right? So I need to see that happen. We need to see where that's going. And we're going to get 6 episodes of that, which is good. Daryl, Carol, I want to see where that goes. Very important. Dead City, I want to see where that goes too. So that's 3 shows that are standalone, but they make sense to see it. And so I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future of that. So I'm not ready to end it just yet. I don't know about you guys, but I am. I'm ready to see where it's still going. I still have love for the Walking Dead universe, which I don't know how many people are still involved with it, still enjoy it, still like it. But the Daryl show had the highest rated, most people watching it viewed stuff on AMC Plus, I believe. So, but I know Fear the Walking Dead, the first episode did pretty well. And then it died off pretty well after that because it was kind of nonsense. But the Daryl show really people enjoyed. I haven't heard anything but good things about it. I don't know if people have said anything bad, and they can if they don't enjoy it. But to me, it was classic good Walking Dead, and it just worked. Dead City worked. The ones who live will work. Once Fear the Walking Dead is over, we can cut the cord on the nonsense, get to the good stuff, and do that. Because I don't know how much Fear the Walking Dead costs, but it's just like, you're like wasting money on this crap. Like, Fear the Walking Dead is just nonsense. Like, I'm not trying to put anyone down and whatever, and maybe they're trying hard, maybe they're not, maybe their backs are against the ropes, maybe they're writing the budget, whatever it is. Like, I don't know. Stuff happens with stuff. But Fear the Walking Dead could have been great. Like, it was just like every season was dumb after stupid, after this, after nonsense, after that, after, hot air beer balloon, after plane crash, after just Dumb after dumb after dumb. Stupid. No. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, killed off a character. Oh, killed off another character. Killed off a good character. Okay, good. But then this person's back and this one there too. And they didn't know how to connect the dots and make stuff work on my opinion. But so I don't know. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. What location do you think Rick and the Sexy Samurai spinoff is in? Well, it's supposed to be Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Is where it's supposed to be taking place. Dragon, what if the end credit scene in The World Beyond is how the Daryl show ends? The woman being Jeanette and the shooter being Cadron. They're different people. They're definitely different people. They're not the same by any means. I know the woman that gets killed looks like Jeanette, and they're all wearing black, and they're doing this, and they're doing that. But Jeanette's not a scientist. She's just barking out orders. She's just the leader. She's not a doctor or whatever that I would assume. She used to work in a store, and she could read when people are lying or whatever is what she said on there too. So I don't think it's the same thing for that. But I would like for them to be connected with those people. Like those people are looking for the Primrose team, the Violet team, Ohio, stuff. I would like to see where it's going too. So and I'm hoping that there are connections there in the second season, because I believe the rumor was that that was going to be 3 seasons. So the first season's done. The second season now is Carol and Daryl together. So what's it going to be for that connection? The post-credit scene of World Beyond connects nothing with World Beyond. It connects everything with The Walking Dead, with the French CDC, Dr. Edwin Jenner, the variant walkers, all that stuff. Nothing to do with World Beyond. What does that have to do with anything? Except, I guess, CRM connections. But then, if you think about it, if there's variant walkers in France years later with things, and they're doing experiments on them, and they're doing all this stuff, why were walkers picking up items in the first episode of the Walking Dead universe so many years ago? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it is. So much time has passed since then. Well, it's because they didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were, and a different showrunner and all that stuff, and it doesn't really make sense. And now they're forcing connection with variants, and the pandemic stuff was like, oh, variant, that's a good word. Maybe we have variant walkers. How are walkers still alive for so long? I would love for them just to talk about it a little bit, explore that a little bit, explain it, even just a little bit on there too. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, after a while, if you start thinking about it, it's just going off the deep end, and it kind of makes no sense. And it's kind of like, I don't know what to make of it. But it's enough that's drawing me in. Now we have burners, and now we have this, and now we have that. And why are some of the walkers have acid blood and stuff in their bodies? Did they escape the research that Jeanette and her scientists were doing? Were they put on boats and taken all over the country and the world? And I don't know. I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff that's still left out there. But I don't know. It's still out there that it makes sense too. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go. We've had a couple of different showrunners in the Walking Dead universe, and some were good, some were bad, some were nonsense. But hopefully, I'm glad nothing happened in those showrunners. Like, imagine if Mazzara or whatever was the showrunner after, Darabont and stuff, was terrible. Killed off Andrea, killed off this, did on that too. What if he did something major? Like, in season 3, they were going to kill off Carol. Instead, they changed it to T-Dog. Imagine if Carol died in the 3rd season. Imagine if Daryl died in the 1st season, right? So we would have no Carol, no Daryl after season 3. That's crazy. Daryl's such an important character. Carol's such an important character. I mean, T-Dog was all right, but Carol and Daryl, that was major stuff. Those characters have come a long way since the 1st season to now. But it's one of those things where it is what it is. I'm enjoying it so far. Fear the Walking Dead tonight, if you haven't seen it. Season 8, Episode 8, titled Iron Tiger. Luciana's on the cover of the opening thing where they do there, too. And yeah, so it is what it is. We're getting there. We need to see a little bit more explanation about how Troy survived, which would probably be nonsense. We have to see a whole lot of explanation of how Madison survived. Probably be nonsense. Will they find Alicia as a walker? Will Alicia never be seen again? Is Madison going to leave to go try and find Alicia? Is that how it truly ends? Like, so Strand will stay at Padre with his family and his people. Troy is killed. Alicia is still out there somewhere, and Madison leaves to go find her. Don't know what happens with Luciana and Daniel and all that nonsense too. But do you think that could be the final ending? That a Madison leaves to go look for Alicia? Could be. No, I did not hear that, John. But ultimately, guys, that is my time. I've been here for the hour. I appreciate you guys taking the time. Like I said before at the beginning of the stream, some of you guys might have heard, I missed the stream last week because my dad was in town, and it was good to be here, and it was kind of crazy with him here, but it was one of those funny things that we'll laugh about later on. But there you go, guys. That's my hour. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the rest of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 9, which actually looks pretty good because of the Dwight Sherry angle. I'm excited to see what's going to happen there, back to the sanctuary. So we'll see how it goes down, guys. But all right, guys, I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the Walking Dead universe and, of course, Fear the Walking Dead. Stay safe. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it no matter what it is. Keep working hard. I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy tonight's episode of Fear the Walking Dead or the football games, whatever you're watching. I'll be back next Sunday.